I'm chasing fire when I'm running after you. You got that something that I never wanna lose. Yeah, it's like dancing when the song's already over. Moving without getting any closer. Oh, I'm chasing fire when I'm running after you. Keep chasing fire. No other way, no other way. Keep chasing fire. No other way, no other way. I was driving you home in the middle of the night, but I couldn't bring myself to say goodbye. I was driving you home, even if I go, even if I stay. I'm chasing fire when I'm running after you. You got that something that I never wanna lose. Yeah. That's the way every day goes.
Assalamualaikum and hello everyone. Today we are going to present you guys about the National Transport Policy, as it was the title we chose for our written assignment report. We are Group 3 from class AM1102J. In this video, we will be discussing about the definition of public policy, issue faced by Malaysian, key objectives, actors involved, strategies, and the evaluation of the National Transport Policy in Malaysia. Before we begin, let me introduce the members of our group. The first one is Ahmad Izul Qayyum bin Syari, which is our group leader. The second one is Nur Eva Sakina binti Azlan, which is me. The third one is Muhammad Faris Irfan bin Lotfi Amir. The fourth one is Nur Aimi Liana binti Azmi. And last but not least is Shahrul Reza bin Shahrul Nizam. Together, we have worked as a team to research and present the core aspects of the policy and its impact on our nation's transportation system. Let's begin.
Hi, my name is Shahrul Reza bin Shahrul Nizam, and today I will be presenting about introduction to Malaysian public policy. It is something that impacts our life every single day, often in ways that we might not even realize. Public policies is everywhere. We see them in the newspaper, on the television, and even on the internet. So it ranges from complex to simpler one, which is the complex one is regulatory and anti-money laundering, or AML policies, and much simpler one is workplace leave policies. But what is exactly public policy, and why does it matter so much to us? So, what is public policy? Let me break it down for you. The word public is referred to a group of people with common interests or characteristics, while a policy means a set of ideas or a plan of action that is being officially agreed upon by a group or organization or government. So if we put these two words together, it will make a different meaning. Well, public policy is the framework of laws, regulation, and action that government implement to achieve social and economic goals. It is a statement of intent and commitment by the government to address a particular issue or problem. But why is it so important? Well, public policy provides a structured framework for decision making and resource allocation to help government address societal challenges and allocate limited resource efficiently. And ultimately, public policy ensure all members of society have equal opportunities and access to resources.
Now, let's move on to the next part of our presentation, transportation issue faced by Malaysian. Transportation plays a crucial role in our daily lives, whether it's commuting to work, school, or traveling across the country. However, many Malaysians face a range of transportation challenges that affect not only convenience but also safety, the economy, and the environment. In this session, we will look at some of the key issues that impact the nation's transportation system. The first one is inadequate public transportation and infrastructure in Malaysia. So, what is public transportation? Public transportation is any form of transport such as buses, trains, bicycles, subways, and taxis that is provided to the public to help them move from one place to another place. The main purpose of public transportation is to facilitate the movement of people and goods within the cities and rural areas. They can easily access the services such as medical care, recreational centers, and work areas. Without public transport, people will have a difficulty accessing this kind of services. Insufficient investment in infrastructure development has hindered development and improvement of public transport network across the country. Existing infrastructure such as roads, railways, and bus terminals often fail to meet the demands of this growing population. This can lead to congestion, delay to the public reaching their desired destination, and overcrowding, making it disappointing people experience in using existing infrastructure. Moreover, existing bus services are also often fail to meet the needs of the public. Most areas in Malaysia have a low bus frequencies, which can cause passengers have to wait for long periods of time. In addition, the quality and condition of buses are mostly subpar, lacking comfort, and lacking proper maintenance. These factors will contribute to a negative perception of public transport and discourage people from using bus services. The next issue is over-reliance on private vehicles. Personal transport, or well known as private transport, refers to the method of transport used by individuals for their own personal travel. It encompasses a variety of modes, including private cars, motorcycles, bicycles, and electric scooters, and even walking. It is any form of transport that is owned or used exclusively by the individual themselves rather share it with the public. People prefer private transportation over public option due to a combination of factors, including convenience, travel times, comfort, and more. Over-reliance on private vehicles in Malaysia can lead to significant transportation challenges, including traffic congestion, environmental pollution, and reduced efficiency of public transportation. For example, lack of adequate public transportation infrastructure and lack of convenience compared to driving. This situation is getting more complicated by the increasing cost of owning and maintaining a car, which could impact on household budgets. Too much reliance on private transportation can cause Malaysians to spend 10% of their total household expenditure on transport costs, which is 59% higher than in Hong Kong and Tokyo. Over-reliance on private vehicles also can lead to an environmental impact. Heavy reliance on private vehicles contribute to air pollution and greenhouse gas emissions. Transport is a major cause of air pollution in urban areas, releasing harmful pollutants like carbon monoxide, nitrogen oxides, and particulate matter, which can carry significant risks and harms for human health, like asthma or bronchitis, heighten the risk of life-threatening conditions like cancer, and more. Noise pollution also one of the impacts of the large number of private vehicles on the roads, especially during peak hours, which is a major source of environmental noise. It can cause hearing damage, cardiovascular problems, mental health problems, and also disruption of sleep patterns. It also impacts overall quality of life by hindering concentration and causing annoyance to the public. The last one is traffic congestion. Malaysia is known for its high level of traffic congestion, particularly in urban areas, which negatively impacts the economy and quality of life. So, what is traffic congestion? Traffic congestion is a traffic phenomenon characterized by slower vehicle speeds, longer travel times, and increased vehicle queues. Traffic congestion occurs when the numbers of vehicles exceeds the capacity of the road or intersection. As a result, vehicles will pile up, speed decrease, and travel times increase. The factors of this traffic congestion are caused by the huge number of vehicles on the road, which usually happens when workers return from their work or during festive holidays. Next one is the driver's attitude. Road hoggers, selfish individuals, unskilled drivers, or drivers who have no common sense are still plugging our roads. Weather changes like heavy rains are also one of the main causes of traffic congestion that cannot be controlled or avoided by humans. Drivers are unable to see the road clearly, causing it to block the roadway and potentially causing the traffic congestion. Traffic congestion has numerous negative consequences. One of the negative consequences is increasing travel time. Traffic congestion will make people take a long time to reach their destination, such as arriving late at work or missing their travel flight. Besides, traffic congestion exacerbates air pollution with massive increases in carbon monoxide emission from huge number of cars on the road, which can contribute to health issues and environmental damage on this earth. Last one is it can cause to accidents and death towards innocent people. That's all from me. I will pass the next part to Aimiliana.
Hi, my name is Nur Aimiliana and I'm going to explain the objective of National Transport Policy. Here is the objective of National Transport Policy. In an economy that is expanding and developing, transportation should remain a key factor in enhancing economic prospects, increasing accessibility, and fostering social investment. As the government of Malaysia works to propel Malaysia's economic growth, one of the key pillars supporting the national transport infrastructure and offering a sustainable transport system is the National Transport Policy NTP 2019 to 2030. Yang Amat Berhormat for NTP 2019 to 2030, Tun Dr. Mahathir bin Mohamad, wants to make public transportation in Malaysia is the preferred options for people who need to move around. The NTP will establish the strategic course for the expansions of Malaysia sustainable transport industry in the future. The first objective is build and maintain the use of transport infrastructure, services, and networks to maximize efficiency. There are a few strategies to make sure this objective are achieved. First, by implement smarter and more efficient use of existing infrastructure and developing new infrastructure. It is evidence that there is a potential to significantly optimize utilizations of existing transport infrastructure, particularly with airports, ports, railway stations and park and ride facilities. Moreover, additional utilizations of technology has the potential to address some of the issues faces, as well providing sufficient data to allow more accurate mapping of future demand to allow optimal infrastructures build-out. Second is increasing the utilizations of rail service for passengers and goods. The following, currently less than 5% of land freight is transported by rail and only 30% of all railway track capacity is used for rail freight movements. As a result, rail has unrealized potentials for the transportation of goods, particularly hazardous and dangerous materials. Therefore, it is acknowledged that the safest way to transport large amount of chemical over long distance is by rail. Likewise, there is more capacity available on the current KTM commuter and the intercity rail services that could be used. The last strategies to make sure this objective are achieved is reinforce the maintenance regime of transport infrastructure. To guarantee safe, smooth, and effective operations, the maintenance schedule for all infrastructures and assets need to be reinforced. Therefore, the majority of delays and expenses can be linked to inadequate transportation infrastructure's maintenance. This will lead to be more effective resources management and improved agency coordinations. Additionally, corrective maintenance rather than preventive maintenance is the main focus. The second objective is enhanced safety, integrations, connectivity, and accessibility for seamless journey. In this objective, focuses on 4 strategies to strengthen enforcement, adopt a safe system approach, ensure safety and security, and improve accessibility and acceptability. I'm going to explain 3 of 4. First is strengthen enforcement to ensure adherence to rules and regulations to improve safety, service quality, and reliability. Although there have been many technological and enforcement advancements in this area, the land transportation industry still faces problems like excessively high accidents and fatality rates, traffic overloadings, and unreliable transportation services. As a result, it is imperative that related agencies' enforcement capabilities be strengthened in order to raise the standard of service provided by transportation providers and increase safety and dependability. Second is ensure the Malaysia transport sector safety and security are in accordance to international standards. For aircraft manufacturers to continue to advance their technology for potential commercial uses, it will be a difficult challenge for the regulator and authority to be in pair with the rapid change. The governments need to focus more on the aircraft or drones manufacturers as well as experts from the industry and international organizations. For instance, IATA and ICAO to identify and implement regulatory changes in enhancing safety features to meet global trends. Moreover, the maritime industry is going through a stage of rapid technological development and change, including the developments in the designs and operations of ships. Hence, the regulators and maritime transport operators need to embrace the latest technological enhancements in order to strengthen maritime safety and security. The third is strengthen infrastructures and facilities and intensify the use digitalizations to improve connectivity, accessibility, and acceptability. In order to lower the costs and delays associated with moving people and goods, there is a need for more connectivity between different transportation nodes, seaports, airports, terminals, and inland ports, via roads and rail lines. Additionally, to guarantee a higher use of public transportation services, more attention will need to be paid to first and last mile connectivity.
Last but not least, the third National Transport Policy's objective is advance toward green transport. Malaysia envisions a future where transportation is environmentally friendly, efficient, and sustainable. They want to build a green transport ecosystem to tackle pollution, resource use, and comply with environmental laws. There are 4 strategies to achieve this. The first one is to enforce environmental regulation aligned with international standards. Second, reduce greenhouse gases emission by 45% by 2030. Third, promote green ports, airports, terminal, and logistics. Fourth, sustainable highway development guided by Malaysia Green Highway Index (MyGHI). Sustainable urban development is a critical pillar in Malaysia's green transport agenda. By limiting urban highway expansion, it can reduce congestion and pollution to promote public transport-oriented urban growth and active mobility. like cycling and walking. The National Transport Policy (NTP) is implemented by Ministry of Transport along with other agencies to achieve sustainable, efficient, integrated transport by prioritizing public transport. They will promote EVs and green transport to reduce pollution by 45% by 2030.
Hi, my name is Ahmed Izakoyum bin Syari, and now I will be continuing our presentation with the next topic, which is actors involved in the national transport policy. First and foremost, actors can be defined as an individual or a group of individuals that is actively involved in the policy making, either directly or indirectly. It is said that actor usually can either be an official like government officials or unofficial like an interest group or media. First actors that involved in the national transport policy is the Ministry of Transport. The Ministry of Transport, or MOT, is the principal body responsible for formulating national transport strategies and overseeing their execution. It manages the land, maritime and aviation sector, ensuring they are aligned with national development goals. The MOT develops policies, enforces regulations, and monitor major infrastructure projects to improve connectivity and competitiveness. This also promotes regional and international cooperation in transport initiatives. Through these responsibilities, the MOT ensures that transport services are not only available but also efficient, safe, and responsive to public and industry needs. Moving on, the next actors that are responsible in the national transport policy are the supporting agencies. Supporting agency divided into three core of transportation, which is land, air, and maritime. Each of those core has its own supporting agency that is responsible in delivering the services effectively and efficiently to the people. The first supporting agency would be on the land sector. The land sector has 5 respective supporting agencies, and the first one would be Road Transport Department. Road Transport Department established in 1946. RTD manages vehicle registration, driver licensing and road transport regulation under the Road Transport Act 1987. The second supporting agency is Malaysia Institute of Road Safety Research, MIROS. They conduct research and safety audits to develop evidence-based road safety strategies and improve transport policy decisions. The third one would be Land Public Transport Agency, or AirPAT. They focuses on regulating and planning public land transport services to ensure integration and efficiency. The fourth one would be Commercial Vehicle Licensing Board, LPKP, Sabah and Sarawak. Manages commercial vehicle licensing in the East Malaysia and ensures compliance with relevant transport laws. And lastly would be Railway Asset Corporation, RAC. They are established under the Railway Act 1991 to manage and develop railway infrastructure assets following the Corporation of Keretapi Tanah Melayu, KTM. Furthermore, when it comes to the supporting agency for aviation sector, Malaysia has 4 supporting agencies that act as an actor for the aviation sector. The first one would be Malaysia Aviation Commission, MAVCOM. MAVCOM is an independent body set up in 2016 to regulate the economy and commercial aspect of the civil aviation. It promotes competition, protects consumer rights, and ensure sustainable aviation growth. The second agency would be Civil Aviation Authority of Malaysia, CAAM. Malaysia's sole aviation regulator. It oversees technical and safety standards for civil aviation and aims to become a world-leading aviation authority. The third one would be International Civil Aviation Organization, ICAO, a UN specialized agency that sets global aviation standards. Malaysia is a council member and follows conventions like the Chicago and Montreal Conventions to align national policy with international norms. Lastly is ICAO conventions. Malaysia is a signatory to key international conventions such as the Cape Town Convention and Montreal Conventions. to ensure global compliance and cooperation in civil aviation matters. Last but not least, supporting agency for maritime sector. Maritime sector has two supporting agencies that act as an actors. The first one would be Malaysian Marine Department, MMD. MMD was formed in 2011 by consolidating regional marine departments. It oversees maritime safety, shipping operations, and port regulation across Malaysia's territorial waters. The second agency would be Maritime Institutes of Malaysia, MIMA. MIMA supports national maritime and transport strategies through studies on maritime security, ocean law, and the Straits of Malacca. It promotes sustainable maritime development and regional cooperation. And that's all from me. Now I will be passing the presentation to the next member.
And hello, my name is Muhammad Faris Irfan bin Opiame, and I'm going to explain about chapter 5.0, which is strategies to implement national transport policy. The first step can be taken by Malaysian government in order to implement their national public transport policy is by promoting their public transport. How do Malaysian government can promote their public transport? Malaysian government can promote their public transport by providing affordable pass to all people. Affordable pass is important to ensure that all people with different background and financial can easily access the public transport such as MRT, LRT, and so on. For example, we can take a look at My 50 and My 100 pass that can give Malaysian or foreign people to use the public transport to move from one to another location easily and with affordable price. The second step that can be taken by Malaysian government in order to implement their national public transport policy is by reducing dependence on private cars. How do Malaysian government can reduce the dependence on private cars? Malaysian government can reallocate the fuel or diesel subsidy in order to reduce the dependence on private cars among Malaysian people. But how does reallocating the fuel or diesel subsidy can influence people to use public transport instead of their own vehicles? First of all, we can see from the financial scope. When diesel and fuel per liter price increase, the Malaysian people financial will become more unstable and hard to manage. Other than fuel and diesel, we also can see that maintenance and insurance also can be factors of their financial unstable. With that, the Malaysian people will choose to use public transport rather than their own vehicles in order to save their money and manage their financial to become more stable. And we can see that the public transport offers more predictable and lower cost among Malaysian people. The third step can be taken by Malaysian government in order to implement their national transport policy is by enhancing urban transit system. In Malaysia, there are many types of public transport like My Rapid Bus, Mass Rapid Transit which is MRT, and Light Rail Transit which is LRT. Each of these transportation have their own infrastructure. For instance, LRT. The main reason why government developed the MRT project is to make the time of moving one from another one place to be fast and city confined. While MRT, the government developed the project is to aim the greater coverage and more high speed. This urban system aim to ease the mobility of people and support sustainable development. For instance, we can take the case study of East Coast Rail Link (ECRL) project. The ECRL project have a length of track which is 665 km, and the project connects the city such as Klang Valley to Pahang, Terengganu, and Kelantan. The effect of the ECRL is to cut the 4 hours from Kota Baru to Gombak and boost interstate connectivity and boost also economic activity.
Now I will continue our presentation with the next topic, which is the National Transport Policy Evaluation. This evaluation will be done by using the SWOT analysis method. SWOT stands for Strengths, Weaknesses, Opportunities, and Threats. The first analysis that was conducted was Strengths analysis on the NTP. We discovered that NTP cover all transport types, which is land, air, and sea, to improve nationwide connectivity. It also supports national and global plans like Shared Prosperity Vision 2030 and SDGs. It also backed by major government projects like the East Coast Rail Link (ECRL), and it shows strong commitment to a better and greener transport system. The second analysis that was conducted was Weaknesses analysis on the NTP. We discovered that NTP has several weaknesses. Some of them are rural areas still lack good transport services. Some projects are delayed or not follow through. Many people don't know much about the policy, and the lack of data make tracking progress harder. And lastly, funding isn't always stable or enough for long-term goals. The fourth analysis that was conducted is Opportunities analysis on the NTP. There are several opportunities for the NTP, which is new tech like smart traffic system and digital ticketing can improve efficiency and user experience. Growing demand for green transport and electric vehicles support sustainability goals. Public-private partnership offer chances to improve services and funding support. And lastly, the threat analysis on NTP. NTP has several threats, which is fast-changing technology may outpace current infrastructure and planning. Budget limits and rising costs can delay projects. Political changes and low public progress and low public support for public transport may slow progresses. Strong competition from countries like Thailand and Singapore. On that note, our final thought about national transport policy after doing SWOT analysis is that while the National Transport Policy 2019 until 2030 is well aligned with national goals and international standards, its success depends on stronger coordination, better rural inclusion, and continued investment. The government must address existing weaknesses and threats while capitalizing on available opportunities and to ensure the policy's long-term success by 2030. And that's all from me.
And lastly, we move to conclusion. With Malaysia's rapid urbanization and poor public transport infrastructure has led to heavy reliance on private vehicles, especially Malaysians causing congestion on the roads, pollution in the air, and health issues, emphasizing the needs for effective public policy. The national transport policy focuses on sustainable, efficient and integrated transport by prioritizing public transit, expanding rail networks, and promoting green transport, and reducing pollution by 45% by 2030. The implementation, led by the Ministry of Transportation, national transport policy enhanced connectivity through projects like the East Coast Rail Link (ECRL). To overcome these challenges requires strong government-public cooperation to achieve sustainable transport by 2030. And with that, our presentation about national transport policies has come to an end. Thank you so much for listening, and that's all from us. Have a great day.